So I put the, our agenda for today up on the board. I don't know if I'm gonna make this a habit, but I think it's probably a good habit to be in, so you guys can, so you're not walking in going, what are we gonna do today? So, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna work on personal statements. Have you guys done one before, heard of them?
Yes.
They're kind of hard, I think. I mean, I've had to do them many, many times, but it's, what you do if you're gonna apply for a job and you have to, they say, tell us about you, you write up a thing. Or for college, a lot of schools require you to write an essay, and it can really be like a deciding factor between you and someone else. So it's an important skill you're gonna use your whole life, but I'm not going to minimize the fact that I do think it's hard. It's hard to do, so if you get frustrated with yourself with the assignment, know that you are among many, because it's a brain taxing thing to do. It's hard to do, and it's hard to do a good job. I mean, it's easy to do kind of a not so good job, but this is just our first pass at it. We're gonna do this a few times throughout the grading period, so don't put too much pressure on yourself. I want you to do your best, but don't put too much pressure on yourself, so we'll take a first pass at it. And can I get a show of hands, who's thinking of going on to either college or some sort of a trade school beyond this? So that's at least half of you. So you will definitely need it, and the others of you will also need it just for job stuff. I mean, if you want, if your ambitions are very low and you just want a kind of minimum wage job, then probably not. But if you want to get some type of office work, or maybe get into one of the, the Valley Tech companies or something like that, you're gonna have to have something like this. It's kind of like an extension of the resume. And I know many of you are young and you really don't have, you might go, what the heck am I gonna put on there? We're gonna talk about that. Like, what do you put on there if you really, it's a lot easier for me. I have a lot of life experience and a lot of job experience. So I have a lot more to pull from. When you're younger, you don't have as much, but you'd be surprised. Like, even, maybe you babysit your cousins sometimes as a favor to your aunt. That's the kind of thing you can write up a paragraph and sound like, like you've shown responsibility. So, okay, so that's that. What we're gonna do now is make sure you have your, put up here the materials that you're gonna need today. So have your journal, we're gonna watch a video, and I want you to take some notes. You don't have to take tons of notes, but just major points that you think you might wanna refer back to. And then you're gonna need either some loose paper for your essay draft, or you can choose to do Chromebooks. Either one is fine with me. Yes. I should have mentioned this earlier. There's a couple different kinds of college essays. There's like the standard one. He kind of talked about both, but he spent more time on the other one. What we're going to focus on right now is just a standard one, like kind of giving them a sense of who you are, what your strong qualities are, just more of a generic. But then there's also ones that have prompts. Have you guys heard about these? I mean, he mentioned them like, how do you feel about Wednesday? That is a really weird one, I think. I think more common, you're going to get, tell us about some major thing that you overcame in your life. Or, yeah, something like that. You get more like those are more standard. But today we're just going to focus on the generic. So what were your major takeaways from that video, besides just the bullet points at the end? You guys have any comments about? So I think one of the key things is just, you want to be yourself. You don't want to sound like a textbook wrote it, You want to be yourself. You want to kind of convey your personality in there. Like he said, if you're a serious person, then make it more serious. If you're like more of a funny person, then you can put some humor in it. And then he did mention like to use some, what did he call it? Like casual language is okay, but you just want to not overdo it. And that's things like using, like using expressions and who's gonna come to my house as opposed to who's going to come. You can do stuff like that as long as you keep it kind of at a minimum, because it just sort of shows just your personality more, I think is the main point of that. So what I'm going to do is pass out graphic organizers. you don't have to use a graphic organizer. Most people find that it helps them. I'll be honest, I don't use a graphic organizer, but I do kind of a graphic. What I do is I kind of just write bullet points of the things I want to cover. But this can kind of help you organize your thoughts. So let's say this is, the generic one. So the topic, what's the topic? It's you, right? It's ourselves. The topic is us and what makes you special.
Hang on.
So the things, I'm going to put this up on the board in a second, but I can't have both of them up there. The main things you want to cover are academics. So, what happened at school. Now, in a lot of your cases, we're going to downplay this in the essay. We're going to play up the things that were our strongest things. Personal information about you, outside activities, and any job experience you had. How many of you have jobs or have had jobs? Okay, about a third of you. So you definitely want to put that in there. And then any achievements you had on your job. For instance, my son got his first job this summer, and he was a lifeguard. So you kind of think, okay, well, that's a cool job. I was a lifeguard. Well, he was only there about a month, and they asked him to be the lead, one of the lead lifeguards. So in the world of a 17-year-old person, that's huge. So you could put that on there. After being, employed for 1 month, I was approached to be the lead lifeguard, and that is a big accomplishment. So that would be something that could be included. Or if you, at your job, if they gave you a little bit of extra responsibility because you showed that you showed up, and no matter what kind of job it is, that's something you want to put on there. Okay, so
we're having technical difficulties
Oh,
with
okay.
the document, so can
That's
you just
okay.
draw on this one for now?
I can draw on that
Yeah.
with these things?
Yeah, you should.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Let's see, hopefully that works.
And actually, can we just go back to the lesson? And under the video, I have these are the areas you want to focus on. So what I would do is on your graphic organizer, like each one of those areas could be a bubble, unless you can think of something else, and just make some little notes there. Like maybe you were a rotten student and you were getting D's and F's, and then you came to this school and you started getting C's and B's. Okay, that is an accomplishment. You could say, I used to not take school very seriously or whatever, but I had an epiphany that I wanted to make something of myself, so I started really applying myself, and now I'm getting blah, blah, blah. So that shows that you've turned yourself around, or you're turning yourself around. You know what I mean? You can only write your truth. All right, so then, what I would do is I would make each of those bubbles one of these things and start taking some notes of anything you can think is possibly bigger. What'd you say?
Can you make that bigger?
No, can we? We'll try. So it's academics, personal info, outside activities, job experience. If you've done any kind of volunteering, or if any of you, so I'm a little bit confused about the setup here. Are some of you in the core, the working part, or have you
No.
been? That's definitely something you put on there. Definitely.
Is that better, you guys? At least a little bit?
And then
Where did you need to go?
Scroll down.
Oh, right there. Go up.
Down more. Oh, it's now on 2 pages. I can just write it on the board, let's just do that. I'll write it on the board.
Is it, oh shoot. Hold on just a second. This is live teaching.
Yeah. So the topic is you. It's your. So in the middle, it's you, the big one. Yeah, just your name's fine. And then in the four bigger, you know, the second size bubbles would be academics, personal information. When I say outside activities.
It works now.
Job experience, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. That's academics. That's okay, I'll come around and make sure everybody's on track.
Oh my god.
Very smart.
No, you're right.
Yeah, a student brought up a good point. You can put other things. If these, you know, like, let's say your academics, like, you really don't want to talk about that because there's nothing good to say there. Like, she put family, work, she put some other things. Whatever makes sense to you.
Sign out.
What do you think? I'll come around and help you brainstorm, okay? Because I know this is hard. All right, so some of you breeze through, excuse me. Some of you already breezed through the graphic organizer part, so for those of you that kind of moved on, what you're gonna end up with, our end product, is gonna be a 5-paragraph essay, maybe even 6, because you're gonna have an intro paragraph, and then topic, maybe as many as 4, depending on what your background and experience is, and then a conclusion. So each one of those bubbles, the middle-sized bubbles, is gonna be a paragraph. So you're like, what? We're just gonna try to do a draft day. You may not even get to that part. The most important part is the organizing of what, kind of the gist of what you wanna say.
What's a letterhead?
Oh. This is letterhead size. Like, you don't want it to go 2 pages. Because I'm sure we're all fascinated with them. Like, you want to keep it pretty. You know, picture yourself in that job, and you've got hundreds of them. You just want to be like, okay, what's the deal?
If you put it in the back, it's gonna get all messed
The
up.
first thing overcame, you know,
That's why I was like,
whatever it is. Yeah, way better to do that. Another good question was just asked. Excuse me, folks. Another good question was asked, and she was saying, well, what if I end up having more than 2 pages? That's fine, because this is just a draft, so it's way better to have more information down, and then we can help you edit it, than to not have enough. You know, if I thought they weren't doing it, I'd say I want to see it.
wait, this isn't due today.
It's not really due today. Tomorrow we're gonna spend more time on the essay part. And we'll help you, and at the end is when I'm gonna wanna see it. You're fine. Good.
You're like,
Okay. And this, remember what I said? It's just a draft. Is this the first time you're doing something like this?
no, but I mean, like, I haven't done it in a long time now.
Yeah. Don't stress about it. Just put some effort into it. It's a draft. And this is the first time we're gonna do it. We're probably gonna revisit this at least one more time before the 12 weeks. What I want you to walk out with is to have that document so that if you need to move it, maybe you weren't planning on getting the job and all of a sudden.
Who class is this for? This developer?
Sometimes
You're doing it in.
Okay, just a couple more minutes in today's class. You can take these with you, your organizer, and if you started on your essay. Excuse me, I want to make sure everyone hears the directions. So tomorrow when you come in, you can bring these papers home with you, or take them with you. When you come in tomorrow, you'll work on your essay draft, and I want to collect those at the end of the period tomorrow. And we'll be here all period tomorrow. Both Miss T and I can help you with editing and getting your brainstorming going. You can email it, yeah.
It's not real money, eh?
Still have 2 more minutes.